Ashley's 72-hour sale is this weekend only. Shop summer hot buys starting at just $1.99. Or save up to 25% off your entire purchase. Friday through Sunday, only at Ashley.
Local 3's news and weather apps take us with you everywhere.
Nancy Cogar is back on the show with us this morning. Of course, she is an elder law attorney here in town, but as you just saw with her cute little, she brings fun to everything she does. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you always.
You're a people person.
Yes, I like to think so. And I love helping older people get things in place, because there's nothing worse than seeing someone in a crisis and they don't have anything in place, which is more the norm than not.
So we're talking fittingly today, we're in the month of August now, and August is National Wills Month. Is that kind of right?
It's National Make-A-Will Month.
Make-A-Will Month, yeah. Most of us don't have one.
70% of us. That's, 3 in 10. That's not a good statistic.
That's not good. So even though I know you are focused on elder law, before we get too deep into the conversation, is there a reason anyone should not have a will? I mean, are you ever too young to not have a will?
I don't think so. I mean, if you're younger, there are issues related to minor children who can't inherit, directly under this state law. You could look at guardianship protections in that same directions for your, last will and testament. You can always address something. And like I said to you before, you may say, well, I don't have as much as so-and-so, but what you have is what you have.
Right.
So make sure it goes the way you want it to and not, by default.
So let's talk about that kind of not only having things inheritance-wise go to where you want it to go, but the protection of what you have. Because so often with a will, you have stipulations of, in the event of my death, there's this. In the event that my spouse and I die together, I mean, it's morbid, but it's the thought process you have to have, right?
Well, I don't have a crystal ball, right?
Right.
So we don't know what the future holds. And sometimes I tell people I'm the queen of backups because, what if this happens? What if this happens? And maybe it's unlikely this will happen, but sometimes it does. So you have to have those things in place.
It's why I mentioned you being the people person, because if you're not passionate about helping, as you said you are, then you won't think to ask, or you won't take the time to ask all of those questions. But that's part of what you bring, right, Nancy, is you kind of do the thinking with them, not for them.
Right, exactly. That's why I call it a strategy session. We sit down, we get to know each other. I'm looking at that minefield. Everybody's family is different. Everybody has different characters in their family, needs, and then stuff, right? So I want to know what you're worried about, what you want to do with your stuff, what happens if, like you said, what happens if this happens. And let's avoid this over here as best we can.
Do you ever find yourself in situations, since you are dealing with elder law, that you have second marriages and that those are difficult to navigate?
All the time. So you've got two spouses that were married later in life. They bring two sets of assets, things they've accumulated over time, and they've got two sets of kids, right? Stepchildren are usually, they're well-behaved for the most part, but they're not as kind towards the step as you might expect.
So you want, okay, yeah, we can read between the lines on that one. It's just kind of a natural thing, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm a step, so I understand.
Okay.
But, it's also, beyond that, it's really putting in something in place so that it does go the way you want it to go. Because on your side, if you have stepchildren, they're not your natural heirs. So if you do want them to have something, you have to specifically take care of that. And then on the other side, if you've got your own IRA, your own, whatever it is, say you've got a second house that's in your name, and you want it to go to your kids, well, you're going to have to do something to make sure that happens.
Right. So, okay, let's talk then about couples aging.
Right.
Because that too is going to happen at different rates and in different ways. So one of the hardest things I think to see are spouses having to be separated because of a health issue.
Yeah.
You see that too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's actually what Boomer Time this week is about. What is a community spouse? And that's a term under state law here of the spouse that stays at home, and then the other spouse goes into the nursing home. It's hugely difficult from a standpoint of How are you going to pay for it? Can you get any help? Loneliness, right? How's the person at
For
home
both
going to
people.
survive? Yeah.
Really,
yeah,
for both.
Yeah. So I would recommend that people give that a listen, and that is something I do as well, is look at long-term care planning as part of the estate plan, because my objective is to make nursing home care a last resort, not the end game.
Okay, I'm going to jump around
Sure,
on you a little
sure.
bit. When you mention long-term care planning, I've turned it immediately into my mind of long-term care insurance.
Right.
Different things.
Well,
are you
not
an
very-
advocate of insurance?
Oh, yeah. If you've
Okay.
got that, it gets really expensive, you know, the older you get, of course, but it's worthwhile. Not very many people have that. So if somebody comes to me and they have that, I say, great. I want a copy of the policy in my file. So if you need it, we're not looking for it. We know what's covered, and, you know, we know you have it.
So-
Sometimes people don't know they have it.
If you don't have it, or even if you do have it and you should make a decision, because sometimes spouses can go together into
Right.
an assisted living
Right.
community or something. If that's the decision made and they're going to sell their house to go, chances are that's going to be a nice profit that they're going to
Yeah.
make. So if you're using that money to then go towards the payment of assisted living, is there any type of tax protection there or Medicare protection there so that premiums don't go up? Do you see what I'm
Not
asking
really.
you? Okay. So
you
that's
know,
part of
and-
the planning. Keep that in mind.
And you know, it's too complicated to get in here, but different assets count differently. So you mentioned selling a house. Well, a house is exempt if you keep it a house, you know, because they don't want the other spouse to become homeless. But there's an aspect of recovery, which you hear a lot about, I'm sure. But if you sell the house and you've got, say, $300,000, $400,000, which is not uncommon these days,
Sure.
right in Chattanooga, yeah, that's a pot of cash that needs to be spent. You know, and that has its advantages too.
Right.
But you got to plan. How are you going to make that last longer?
It
or
is
as
not
long
a
as
short
possible?
conversation,
No.
and you might not want to do it the way your neighbor or your brother-in-law has done it.
Right.
You've got to do it your way.
Well, the nightmare I see all the time is, you know, how can I protect my family from the state, they'll say the state, coming back and taking my house?
Yeah. Well, here's where you might want to start. First of all, watch her here every month on 3+U. But she does have her podcast that she mentioned, Boomer Time,
Oh, yeah.
with Nancy Cogar. So tune into this week's episode. If you want to call her, she'd love to help you. 596-7220 online, nancycogar.com. Thanks.
Thanks, Julie. I love being here.
A commercial vehicle hits you, and now you're left to deal with the damage. Medical bills, missed work, mounting stress. You didn't choose this, but you can choose what happens next. Let us fight for your future.
If your family's anything like mine, life brings in dirt and messes.
Touchdown! Yes! 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 Oh!
Sit back, relax, and leave the deep cleaning to the pros. Your home isn't clean until it's Stanley Steamer Clean.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
After a car crash, how bad of an idea is it to go it alone against the insurance company? It's like smoking at the gas pump bad. It's like messing with a mama bear bad. It's like jumping out of a plane without a parachute bad. But here's a good idea. If you've been hurt in a car crash, call Gary Massey Injury Lawyers. We know a thing or two about the insurance company, and we'll be with you every step of the way. You gotta get Gary. Gary Massey Injury Lawyers. 423-444-8888.
I would have to hold my back as I got off the rug, but I didn't want to stop sitting on the floor because that's where I do most of my teaching. After I decided my pain was too much, I went to the doctor, and the doctor said it might be my feet, suggested that I do visit the Good Feet store. After I went to the Good Feet store, I realized that you don't have to live in constant pain. They took my pain away.
Hip, knee, or back